The trolley problem. We've all seen it, we all know it, and I'm sure we all have an answer. I have an answer. And you'd probably be surprised to hear that I would do nothing. Put me in front of that lever, and 5 people will inevitably be run over. Now, before you brand me as heartless, let me explain. If I were to pull the lever, I would save 5 people and 1 dies. If I don't, 5 die and I save 1. Right? Not really. The moment I decide to engage with the lever, whether it's to pull it or not to pull it, I've taken responsibility for the act of choosing when I had nothing to do with this. Why do I need to choose? Why should I assume that I need to make a choice? The moment I think that it's for me to decide, I've fallen for the core trap hidden within this ethical dilemma. The trolley problem exists to highlight a fatal flaw in human thought. When presented with the illusion of limited choice, we act as if these limitations are absolute. There's no reason to suggest that we can't just walk away from the lever. I didn't put people on the rails. I didn't create this jigsaw level mind game. So why should I think that it's my decision to make? If I walk away, 5 people do get run over, but the fault lies with the person who made this setup. You might ask, well, in that case, couldn't you justify all inaction? And the answer is no, of course. Inaction is not universally justifiable. If I had reasonable belief that I could prevent harm without, keyword here, without causing more harm in the process, it would be better, it would be best to act. However, the trolley problem doesn't ask if you would stop harm. It asks if you would directly cause harm to prevent more harm. This premise creates the illusion of a binary decision. Let me ask you instead, are there really only 2 choices? Think about it. Pull a lever or don't pull it. Is that it? Does that have to be it? Is there, I don't know, maybe a third option you can think of? You see, if it were me, if I were actually trapped in this hypothetical scenario, I would attempt my third choice and see if I could jam the lever halfway to potentially derail the trolley. Because if you think about the way that those rails work and the way that they shift, they kind of have to be one way or the other. And so the idea is that I would derail the trolley and save everybody, right? That's my third choice. There's no reason to believe that this is not an option when the premise itself is an attempt to control my perception of it. Rarely ever are there situations where you have such limited options. The human brain likes to simplify the world into certain this or that choices because that makes life easier to manage. The problem is that we often assume these simplifications are the only available options when that's usually very far from the truth. Almost always far from the truth. The trolley problem states that I must choose, but it doesn't tell me who started this or why it has to be me. I claim agency if I pull the lever, but if I don't, then it has nothing to do with me, and I bear no responsibility for something they did not cause. The premise itself is the trap. It's not about which decision you make, it's about the assumption that you need to make a decision at all. And maybe even worse, it's about the assumption that your choices are limited to begin with. If you accept the binary premise without question, then you've already been caught by the psychological trap of the trolley problem.